Get ready with me while I tell you all of the secrets to the modeling industry. I've made a long list of terms that I think new models should know. The inside scoop, when you hear models talking at the casting and you're like, what does all of that mean? I'm going to tell you today. What makes me eligible to speak on the topic? I've worked in Milan, Paris, China, Switzerland once, and I really like to model. I've been working for about 3 years in the modeling industry. Sometimes there's local agencies that just work in the city. Other times, and most of the time, the agencies will have models that they send all around the world into different markets. And everybody's got a mother agency. This is your mother. They do the dirty work. They're the ones that get you onto the scene. There's lots of different kinds of agencies. There's boutique agencies. There's big high fashion agencies. You know, IMG, Wilhelmina, Elite. Those are some big names that you'll hear. And there's smaller agencies. And when you're looking to get signed, a lot of girls will want to go for these big agencies. A lot of girls also say from experience that working with these big agencies is a risk because they have so many girls and you're competing with Alice Consani for the job. So some girls like to do the smaller agencies because they're more personable, they get to know you. So when you have an agency, you will have your very own booker. And your booker is the person that books you the jobs. So if they like you and if you're on good terms with them, they're probably going to send you out for more things. Now, once you get signed and you have your booker, there's a lot of steps that your agency might take to develop you. That's another word. It's being developed. And when you start with an agency, you're going to be what's called a new face. This is a pocket of major opportunity. You are like a fresh leaf being brought out into the world. Clients is a phrase that we use when we talk about getting a job. So the client is like who you're working for. A lot of times clients will look at the new face board because they're like, ooh, what's new? What's new? It's basically the, when you go online shopping, it's when you look at the, what's new? Now, here's the thing about modeling that you need to understand. You are a product. It's very easy to get lost in it and to get personal about it. But when you start, you have to understand that there are markets. And the markets will either like you or hate you. And it really comes down to what features they're looking for. It's really dark when you think about it, and you need to really understand what exactly it is. Do not go into modeling if you are looking for fame. It will be a dark path. Do it because you love fashion. Do it because you want to travel the world. But don't do it for a self-fulfilling prophecy because it's completely out of your control. As I mentioned, the markets, it's so fluctuating what they want. 1 year, you're going to be everything and you're going to get booked day and night. And next year, you look exactly the same, nothing. Don't take it personally. You have to also be prepared for the unexpected, for a lot of change, for a lot of rejection. Anyways, you're going to be developed by your agency. And first, they're probably going to teach you how to walk. They'll make what's called a package, and that package includes your Polaroids, your measurements, probably a video of you doing your walk, and an introduction video where you say, hi, my name is Alexis Jean, and I'm with Patty Falconer Agency. I'm 21 years old. My bust is, my hips are, my waist. You're probably going to make that package in the early start of your career. What are Polaroids? Polaroids are pictures that are sent to clients if they're interested in you. It might be the first thing that the clients see. And they are like the unfiltered, most raw pictures of you. They just want to see what you look like without all the glam. They want to see the base that they can play with if they want to put you in an editorial and style you. They're very raw. They're also called snaps. They're also called digitals, also called bolas, black tank top, black skinny jeans, and then you'll have to do them in bikini too. That's another thing, you have to be comfortable with being unclothed. That's another story. And then you will get what's called a composite card. This is part of your development, and you need this before you go to any castings. Your comp card has your measurements, it might have some of your Polaroids on it, and it will have your best pictures. A lot of girls will say things like, oh, I hate my comp card. Your agency sets it up and you think you know your best photos. They also think they know your best photos, and a lot of times it might be different from what you expect. So be prepared for that. And what do you do with the comp card? As I mentioned, you'll take it to castings, and this is like your business card as a model. This is what you give to them if they want to contact your agency. If you go to a casting and the client likes you, they'll keep your comp card. If you go to a casting and they don't like you, sometimes they'll give it back to you. And a lot of times you might have to pay your agency for your comp cards. Early in my days, I had to print them out myself. That's Staples. Or it will come off of your earnings. Here's some other nitty-gritty details that you should know. As I said, your agency might bring you all around the world. What does that mean? You might go on a placement. It's also called an on-stay, but here you get signed by another agency. And your agent and your other agent basically will communicate with one another, and you'll be signed. Now, a lot of times I get CC'd the email conversations between the agencies. You probably won't be doing a lot of direct conversation with your second agency when you go on a placement in the beginning. It will probably just be, your mother agent updating you that, they want to do a placement, or they'll send you the contract, depending on where you're going. In Asia, a lot of times they'll do what's called a guarantee. It's where you basically have an amount of money that you're going to make regardless, no matter what happens, you're going to come home with that amount. Guarantee is a blessing. We like the guarantee. A lot of times though, if you get a guarantee, that agency will probably work you more because they have to get that money back. So if you want to chill placements, if you've got a guarantee, you're going to work, honey. You're going to work. Within your contract, there might be details about you can't get tattoos, you can't change your hair, you can't change your measurements. If we find you with drugs in Milan, it's over. Basically. In Europe, usually you have to pay for your airfare, you have to pay for your plane ticket. You will have the option, a lot of times, to live in the model apartment. The price for the rent will go off of your earnings. If you make a lot of money, it's going to be tacked off, and the money that you come home with will be subtracted from that model apartment rent price. Or you live in the model apartment, you don't make any money, you go home, and you don't have to pay out of pocket. But they're probably going to ask you to come back again and again and again until you make enough money to cover the rent. So you might be working in Milan 4 times before you book that big campaign, and then you got to pay all your rent. Contracts are usually time limited. I have a 3-year contract. In Asia, they usually do 90-day contracts. So your contract starts when you fly into Asia, and you're there for 90 days, and then it's over when you go home, usually with the guarantee. That's how it works. Asia works pretty differently than Europe. Europe, they usually have those bigger contracts where you kind of keep going back, and you'll usually pay for the model apartment out of your earnings. It's usually the same with Asia too. You have to be prepared to live with other girls, and you have to be prepared for messes. You have to be prepared for girls coming home late. You have to be prepared for girls talking on the phone at 3 in the morning with their boyfriends or their mom. You have to be prepared for walking into a diva doing yoga in the kitchen. You have to be prepared for different cultures and languages, values and ideas all sharing the same space, different attitudes, or the cleaning lady coming in every single week into your room because they have keys and changing your linens, No freaky business in the model apartment, let me tell you. You can't have any visitors. You get your keys. If you lose your keys, you have to pay a fee. There's a lot of things that you need to be aware of. Also, model apartments are usually one gender, so you're going to be living with the girlies. Probably won't be living with boys, and they definitely won't let you bring your man into the model apartment. But I've heard stories. Usually in Asia, sometimes in Europe, you might have pocket money that also comes off of your earnings, but it makes life on your stay very, very nice. Sometimes you will have your taxi money also paid for, meaning it comes off of your earnings, but in the moment you don't have to have money to work. You might not come home with money, but you won't have to worry about calling your mom because you're out of money for taxi, because they'll pay you for that. They will build your book. What that means is that they're trying to get you as many photos as possible to put in your portfolio. So with your comp card, you're going to bring your portfolio with you to show the clients at castings. And your book, your portfolio, some agencies will tell you that that makes all the difference. It depends on the market. When I was in China, I didn't show a single client my book. They never wanted to see it. When I was in Milan, you brought a physical book this big with you to every casting, and they always would flip through it. So it really depends. You might have what's called a test shoot, and the test shoot is free, meaning that you're not making any money, girl, building your book. And that means you're gonna get booked by the big clients in Europe. So you do the test shoots in the beginning for fun. They can kind of be anywhere from a very casual collaboration with a little artist to a big team that gets pushed out for editorials. I've had test shoots go to vote. So sometimes they're a great opportunity for visibility and for those big model milestones that we all love. You might also have what's called your editorials. These are booked with the intention of being in a magazine. Sometimes they've already confirmed with the magazine that they're going to be published, meaning that they're going to be in the print, in the magazine that you buy in the store, or online on their webpage. The editorials are usually pretty fun shoots. They are usually shorter because you've got maybe 3 to 4 different outfits that you're going to wear, and they're usually pretty artistic, so you can expect very interesting things. A lot of people start modeling because they want to be hot, but usually their jobs are going to be really out there, and you're going to be wearing things that you might not feel are personally flattering. I've been covered in clay before. I've had my eyebrows bleached before. I've worn a latex suit before. I've worn a giant Teletubbies looking fuzzy pom-pom red bodysuit from head to toe before. Those are the outfits that get published. So if you're expecting to give Shalom Harlow in the 90s, it's very rare that these like cunty outfits are going to be published. Usually it's very avant-garde, strange, interesting haute couture stuff that you'll see in editorial work. So when you get that editorial job booked, have no expectations because it's always a surprise. If you enjoy surprises, you would enjoy modeling because every day is different. In terms of rates, editorial is mid-tier, I would say. It's like in the middle. I've had editorials pay 200 euros. I've had editorials pay 1,000 euros. Sometimes they will tell you the magazine that you'll be in. For really any jobs, there's no instant gratification. You're going to be waiting 2 to 3 months before these photos come out. You might see them in the monitor when you do the photo shoot, but girl, you're not getting sent those in a long time. And I forgot to add, sometimes you're allowed to post behind the scenes, other times you're not allowed to, so you don't get the hype. Sometimes you've got to request them. Your bookers are busy girlies. Biggest priority is usually booking that Dior hottie, probably not your test shoot from 3 months ago, you know what I mean? There's a lot of self-advocacy in modeling, a lot more than you might expect. In Lookbooks, you are taking pictures of every single piece of a designer's collection. this might be an 8-hour day. You walk in and you see the rack, it's like, phew. And sometimes you can do interesting poses. You can be like, and then other times it's just the other type of shooting is the e-com. This is slowly being replaced by AI, so I don't get much of these anymore. But when I first started modeling, they were beautiful. They pay the best, and I don't care what these high fashion girlies say, e-com is it. That's what's gonna pay your bills. Here, it's also really easy because you don't really have to use a lot of work and strain. It's just a lot of changing all day, which is, yeah, that does get exhausting. Sometimes the studio is like cold, sometimes it's hot. You're standing in heels all day, but really it's just looking like front, back, side.
You've built your book, you've got your mother agent. Your agent has found you a placement in Milan. You've decided that you want to do the model department. You've got your money ready for the airfare. You're heading over there. You've got your Polaroids sent over. You're probably going to do more Polaroids in your placement country for this new agency. Probably going to get a whole new set of comp cards. You're going to do the same thing all over again.
One thing I forgot to warn you is that on your new placement, your agency will probably ask you to come in and do Polaroids the next day after you flew in, like 13 hours. Here's how to know what your casting means. It might be an open casting, meaning that all the girlies are going to be there. That means that pretty much all the agencies in the area have gotten the casting and it's open to anybody. Then you have what's called your go seat. This is usually a little bit more exclusive. The client has probably looked at your pictures, they probably know kind of who you are, and they've kind of selected you a little bit. They're kind of into you. Then you have by request, which means like you're lucky girl. That means that they really like you and they've requested you specifically. Sometimes your casting will just have the name of a certain photographer. If it's for an editorial, they'll have the name of the designer. If it's for a show, it will tell you in the email. If it's a runway casting, if it's a show casting is what they say usually in the email. Another type of job that you might get castings for is the showroom. Showroom is loved and hated by the girlies in the industry. I really liked showroom. I did showroom in Paris and it was really fun. I really liked it. Basically, you have this big changing room full of staff. They are called fitters, meaning that they're fitting you in the clothing, and they put you in the clothes. You go into this room and it's usually full of clothing racks, kind of like shopping but without the price tags. Well, the client isn't really the brand. The client is the people that are shopping, and it's kind of dystopian. Basically, you are the mannequin and they want to see how the clothing looks like on you, how it's going to look on somebody moving, so that they can buy it and they can showcase it in their store or showcase it in whatever, or just buy it for themselves. It's really interesting. You don't really talk, you kind of just walk in, and sometimes the client will like touch the clothing on you, like the customer, the client. They'll be like, wow, like how much is this? And like you're just standing there like, and they're like, wow, I really like this. Or they'll take pictures of you and you have to be like, but I really liked it. The clients are really nice, and when they're done, they'll be like, okay. And then you'll be like, and then you'll walk out and try on something else that they like. Basically, you're a mannequin and you're playing dress up all day, and I really like it, but a lot of girlies, it can be very tiring. Most of the time, they'll cover your flights and your food when you do showroom if it's in a different city or area, so it's nice. This happens a lot for jobs too. When I was in Milan, I wasn't just working in Milan. I would work in Rimini, I worked in Switzerland once. When you're working on a job, you're working on set. Sometimes you'll be working in a studio, sometimes you'll be working outdoors, but you know, when you get the job, most of the time they'll tell you. And there's gonna be a couple people on the set. You'll have your makeup artist, your hairstylist, your clothing stylist. They're usually the person that's going to put the clothing on you, so don't expect to be touching the clothing a lot. They're gonna be putting it on you. You're gonna be like there, like when you have to put on a shirt, you're gonna have to do this while they put the top on you. And you gotta lock in, girl, like, cause most of the time you've got makeup on and you've gotta like, it's like a rebirth every time you've gotta change. It's not for the weak. You've got your stylist, you've got your photographer. Most of the time, there's going to be some kind of assistant, but they're just kind of helping out. Sometimes they're students, they're usually younger. They're going to tell you how to move. And they'll be like, try to like relax your neck. And be like, try to like move your eyes this way. They're going to do something called test the light. This is before you take to the actual shooting. You're probably going to have to stand there and be like, while they take a picture and make sure that the lighting looks good. That's always a part of the journey. Posing really is a dance. You learn your concrete poses, but you spend a lot of time in the mirror just figuring out what looks good. And there's different types of posing. You've got econ posing, where you do where you basically, like, your eyes, you look like a lifeless doll while you do these like really stiff movements. And then you have your high fashion posing, where you get really weird. You're just like extending your body as much as you possibly can in these like weird ways. Learn how to use your hands in comfortable ways. Like, learn how to make that look natural, because they show up a lot. I used to always have my pinky like this in pictures, and it would always show and look horrible. They'll tell you to relax your hands quite a bit if you don't know how to do that. Learn how to use your eyes. A lot of models, they have the same face. They're so focused on their body that they forget how to play with their eyes and express. Learn how to, you've got to learn how to use your eyes and express yourself, or else it's going to get really boring. And they like to see that variation in the book. You'll have jewelry shootings, you'll have beauty shootings. That just means that they're just taking pictures of your face, usually for makeup and skincare brands. Sometimes they'll tell you to pose big or pose small. Posing big is like your weird big movements. Posing small is like just making really small adjustments. The casting process is, in Europe, most of the time, there's going to be a lot more girls. You're probably going to be standing out in the street for at least an hour. But your castings are usually like in the city. In Asia, usually you take a taxi for up to an hour or two just to do a go-see, but there's a lot less girls most of the time. And Europe, like I said, they like your book. In Asia, they don't really. They usually take your comp card. The casting experience usually goes like this. You wait for your turn. You're worried if your hair looks good. Usually you wear natural makeup, if not no makeup. Very natural clothing that's tight fitted, that shows your physique, your figure. You pull up. There's usually the casting director, which is like the person that chooses if they like you. It's not always the designer. And they usually are sitting at a table at the end of the room. You walk up nervously with your composite and with your portfolio, and you're like, hi. Sometimes they'll ask you the following questions. How old are you? Where are you from? What's your height? Usually they don't ask you about your measurements, because I hate to say this, depends on the market, but you've got to be within the measurements to get there. So you're probably already doing good enough. If you're at that casting, really, you are there for a reason, and don't doubt yourself. Or they'll ask you your shoe size, because sometimes they've got shoes ready for you. I forgot to mention, if they really like you, they'll make you try on the clothes, and a lot of the times all the girls have tried on the same piece of clothing, so sometimes it get a little sticky. You always pull up to your castings with heels. You don't have to wear them on the way there. I used to do that, but bring the heels with you. Make sure that you're wearing them when you're making that impression. Most of the time, you're going to do a walk for them, regardless of whether it's a show casting or not.
You'll see all the other girls walking, and you'll get super nervous and be like, oh my god, what am I even doing here? Am I even meant to be here? Like, what the heck? Like, how do they walk so well? What am I doing with my life? It's okay, just do your best. Keep the back straight, keep those legs long, and do your best.
They usually look at your book while you're walking, kind of doing up and down. If they tell you thank you, goodbye, it's probably a no, girl. If they ask for a picture, you're doing well. You're doing well. So then they'll take a picture of you. It's just like a... and then they'll keep your comp card. Sometimes I've been confirmed on the spot. I did a show casting one time, and they were like, see you at the show. And I was like, okay. But it doesn't really happen a lot. It's very hard to tell, though. A lot of times you'll leave a casting kind of trying to analyze the behaviors of others and thinking, oh my god, do they like me? Did they not like me? You're never gonna know. Stop stressing about it. Go get that coffee and enjoy the rest of your day, because you're never gonna know and it's out of your control.
I'm trying not to compare yourself to the girlies. Be inspired by the girlies, but don't compare yourself. You're here for a reason too. Every face is unique and has a place in the industry. And some placements go well, some placements are a flop. But it's just the way it goes, and you've got to be prepared for that rejection when you start. Because everybody wants something different. I've had placements that have just been ballin'. I've had placements where I haven't booked a job. Paris was oof for me. It also depends on the agency.
If you're directly booked, they picked you on the agency website and they were like, she's the one. Even if you're not getting any castings, you might be submitted for direct bookings. It's also kind of harder to book shows because you're dealing with a lot of that competition. Most of the time, shows are by casting. Before you get booked for a show, there's probably going to be what's called a fitting. At the fitting is where you might see the designer. This is like the second round or even the third round. You might have multiple fittings before you get confirmed for a show. You might also be what's called option for a show, meaning that they like you but they're not 100% sure yet. You might be optioned until the day before the show. Then you have show day, and sometimes they'll have a rehearsal day before the show, so it's a 2-day process where the first day you will do exactly what you did on the show day, but there's no people. Like, they'll literally do the hair and makeup just for rehearsal. And then other times they'll do a rehearsal in the morning, and then you'll come back and do the show in the evening. Backstage, you see your number, has your cute little comp card, like, or your face on it, and you're like, oh, that's me. And you'll see your outfit, or your outfits with a number, because you're gonna have a number on the runway. And you do the rehearsal, you figure out where you kind of fit in the line, and you figure out how to change quickly. It's a lot of adrenaline, because you walk out, you do your first walk, and you've got to run backstage, put your new outfit on, sometimes get hair and makeup done again while the show is still going on, and then you run out and you do it again. Ooh, like, it just gets me excited just thinking about it. It's really fun. You can barely see the people because there's usually like light in your face, so you kind of black out. I don't really remember all my shows, but it was really fun. While you're waiting to go, there's usually a person that will wave you and tell you when it's your time. They'll have like a little headset and it'll tell them basically the timing of everything. So you're just waiting, and then they'll be like, go, go, go. And it's like, oh, you know. I've seen some girls get changed out of their clothes and forget about the finale. Ooh, that's a bad one. Don't forget the finale. And then everybody walks in front of one another, like a line of cattle. Yeah. Afterwards, you can expect some paparazzi outside, so make sure you wear something cute on the way that's comfortable and cute, because there might be cameras outside. 2 things I forgot to mention. One is there's going to be photography backstage, so all day you're going to have people taking pictures of you, so you're locked in all day. Second is usually they do your hair and makeup early in the day, and when you come at 7 in the morning with a show at 7 p.m., the makeup gets a little bit crusty, but rarely do they actually make it fresh when you go, just saying. And then check the news sources, because you might be in Elle or Harper's Bazaar, because it'll be like the latest skirts of 2026 fall season, and then you'll see yourself in the best skirts of the season. You'll be like, okay. I've done rehearsals where they'll be like, put your back straight, or they'll be like, no hands in the pockets. Like, they'll tell you what to do. And again, it's not like they hate you, they just want it to look good in their way, you know? They'll be like, catwalk. Catwalk usually means like strut. That's about it. It's really a long journey, and you learn all these things as you go. The first placement is rarely the best one. I mean, you're a new face, so sometimes you get the best castings. I got some of my best castings my first season. I remember when I did a Ralph Lauren casting in Milan, and I was like in the Ralph Lauren palace, and I was like, guys, there's a lot of marble and like fancy butlers and like very nerve-wracking, but don't give up. You're gonna learn. It's not over yet. Who knows where the modeling industry is gonna go, but if it's something that you wanna do, you should know all these terms, and it might help you prepare a little bit. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask the girlies that you look up to. And just know that it's a journey, and it has nothing to do with you. Also, make sure to take care of yourself, take care of your body, do it the healthy way, because if you want a career that's going to last and that you're going to enjoy the process of, You need to nourish your body and take care of it. You're gonna see everything. You're gonna see the girlies with the great relationship with their body, and you're gonna see some dark, dark things, girl. But I'm telling you, it's you against you. There's a lot of noise in the industry, but you've got to stay strong and make sure to take care of yourself, because you can never really control the outcome. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for having me today. It was lovely to meet you. My name is Alexis Jean. I'm 21 years old from Canada. My height is 176. And I like modeling.